Today's video, as always, is very short. I keep it simple and I just want to teach you something I think is very good in the world of AI, and you could really use this to your advantage as developers, as non-developers as well, from text to code, and to create yourself beautiful apps that you can use personally. And if you're familiar with this platform called Bolt, it's Bolt.new. This platform helps you to build just anything from front-end apps to back-end apps, but it particularly does well with front-end apps. As you can see, you can start a blog with Astro, you can build a mobile app with native script. There's just a lot that this platform can do for you, and it runs on the most capable LLM today, which is Claude Sonnet 3.5, released by Anthropic. And you don't know what that is. Let's look at Anthropic Claude. And this is Anthropic Claude. We try it and you can see this is Anthropic Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It's a very, very good model. So Bolt.new uses this model to do everything it does behind the scene. However, you are limited to a particular number of tokens every month. I think it's 200,000 tokens per month. And if you decide to pay, you'll be paying $18 per month to be able to use Bolt.new and all that. So instead of that, how about I tell you that there's an alternative, a free alternative for that matter. So there is a project that is a fork of the Bolt.new repository, because it's an open source repository, and that project is called Bolt.diy. Bolt.diy, you see from here it says forked from Bolt.new, which means anybody can use this repository, take the codes and run it locally on your machine. And it was started by this very wonderful guy called Cole Medin. I've been following him for some time now, and he's created a very good community where people can take these codes. They've made so much adjustment to this fork version of the Bolt.new, and here are all the things that have been done so far in terms of addition to the original repository. There are still some things to be done, like to prevent bots from rewriting the files as often, because it's one problem that we see often. Better prompting for smaller LLMs and for the code window to open. And that's something that you will find with bots, that if you try to install it locally and you use a small LLM like Llama 3.2 for example, it would not open the main window for the coding because it's been written like that. So now we have this Bolt.diy, which does a very similar thing, and you see from the picture here that it has a very similar interface, only that it has been modified. So I'm going to show you how to install this locally. So let's do that right now. So we come down here. If you are using Mac or Windows, it really doesn't matter. The first thing to do, and most preferred, will be to use Docker. I like to use Docker because it makes the installation very clean and makes everything containerized and simple enough to run. So you don't have to worry about dependencies and all those other stuff. However, if you don't have Docker, then you can go through the npm route. This is for beginners, like for absolute beginners. But in order to use npm, you need to install Node. So type Node, Node.js, and download Node.js like that, like so. If you download it for whichever operating system that you have, and this is for Mac because I'm on Mac, it will download your version. All you need to do is install it. The moment you install Node, you can have npm. So you come back here and install npm. If you don't know what that is, just come down here and follow all the instructions. Download the LTS version. That's what we just did right now from the Node.js page. and follow all these instructions like that. If you're on Windows, do all these things. And yeah, however, I'll be using the Docker format today. So the first thing we do is that we clone this project, and that's a very simple process. If you are looking for open source repositories and projects, by now you should know how to clone. And so I will just navigate to my desktop, and I will clone this project right now. That's all I need to do. And now, since I cloned the project, all I need to do is navigate to that project, the name of the project, and open with Visual Studio Code. So that's the name of the project. I will cd into it and then do code dot, and it will open the project like so. And now this is the project. This is everything that you need for Bolt.diy to work for you. So we go back to the instructions and we look at the next step, running Docker. Here it says run Docker build target Bolt.ai development. So I'm just going to take that, come to my Visual Studio Code, open the terminal, and already you should have Docker. The way I know that I have Docker is if I type Docker, I will get something like this. If you type Docker and it says not a command, it means that you don't have Docker running. And here is how I know Docker is running. If Docker is not running for you, it means you don't have Docker installed. What you can simply do is to go to Docker and install Docker Desktop. So go to Docker Desktop, find that on Google, come to Docker and scroll down. You'll see download Docker Desktop, select your operating system. Once you do that, you should have something like this opened for you. In your case, you probably will not have any single container because you haven't installed anything. In my case, I have. So I have some containers. Some of them are running, this one is not. Some of them are running, and so on and so forth. So now I have Docker, so I can run this command here. I'll just clear this terminal and paste this code here. So what this does is that it builds an image for this project, and now it's built up. The next thing to do is to run the second command, and this one starts up a container. So that's what we do. Here I can also add D to it, which means that it should be detached so that it can free up our terminal. So if I run this, we should have a container spinned up for us with this Bolt.diy running. So we'll wait for it while the container is running and it's being spinned up. And now we have the container running. So let's check in our containers. We can see there's Bolt.diy, that's the name. And if we open it, you see that it's mapped to the port 5173. If we open that, we will get something that is very similar to Bolt.new, which you can see already. So how do we use this? The best way is to get an LLM API key. That is how I will use this. And how do we get this? I want to use the Google Gemini API key. So I go to Google Studio, Google AI Studio. I'll go to Google AI Studio. You just click on the API get key and get a key. Let me select Gemini project, create a key. Of course, I will delete this key later. I'll select this key now, and I can select Google from the list of all the providers, and I'll put in this key right there. Press enter, and now I'm ready. So if I say make me a to-do list app, we should have something ready to go. And yes, we do. It works exactly like Bolt.new, except that you don't have to pay for this one. It's running locally, and as you can see, there is a problem, but yes, we can easily fix that. If we type fix, it will try to fix itself. That's one good thing about Bolt.new. And if everything goes well, we should have a to-do app written in React and in Tailwind CSS. Let's see if we do have it. And yes, we do. So I say run outside. Let's see if that was the first task I wanted to do. I add it and I can delete it, which is very good. So you have an app running, and that's how to install Bolt.diy. So guys, get very creative with these tools. You can use it to build your personal app only by prompting. Just keep prompting and prompting. I don't know if there is an API limit on this API key for Google 2.0 Flash, and I also don't know if it's capable of building great like complex applications, but if you want to build like small applications, then this is the way to do it. So I believe you got value from this video, and if you want to see more of this, then do click the like button, share this video, and of course subscribe to this channel. You'll get more of these videos next time. Until then, see you guys later. Bye.